Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another This Might Hurt. Hopefully my dog calms down here in a minute. They're just playing. But I don't know. It's kind of like having those. Have you ever had like little, I don't want to say complete like infants, but babies, toddlers, and they have those, they get really noisy when they're really happy. And you're like, oh, happy baby noises. And it's kind of like that fun, make you feel good kind of noise. That's kind of where my dogs are at right now. And yeah, so if you hear them, that's probably what that is. And we're going to go with it. Yeah, we're going to go with it. We're going to make sure, well, we're going to try to make sure that you guys can hear me over the dogs. But yeah. So happy Thursday. Again, the week that just would not end. I really feel like this week has taken 2 years to unfold. Stop, Sadie. Get done. And it's getting harder and harder to get up in the morning. I actually got up probably about 40 minutes later than I normally do because I don't know, I just don't want to face my day. And there's nothing bad going on, really. It's just like, will this week ever end? I don't know. It's a very strange feeling that I'm in, and I'm kind of wanting to avoid my life a little bit. And I'm struggling to face it, I guess. And but anyway, let's get into the cards and see what the cards say. Justice in reverse. So feeling some sort of injustice, or an awareness that justice is happening, is taking place. Sometimes when we have these things happen to us, we can trace them back to how that's fair, if you will. Right? Yesterday we were talking about, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. I think it was one day this week we were talking about the difference between just and fair and equal, right? Not all things that are just are equal, although it depicts that in this card. And actually, no, because it's not equal, right? That scale is not fully balanced, but it may be just. But the awareness that justice is a thing, even, right? So I have this thing about karma, right? So it's kind of like people want to say that, oh, it's their karma, they deserved it, da 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 da, and they consider that to be justice. But really, justice might mean something more subtle to you. It might mean something like, it's justified that I have this reaction to this thing because I have trauma and I have a trigger, and I'm justified in acting a certain way. Well, and that may be true to a certain extent, but at the same time, are you justified in not having healed the thing that hurt you? I don't know. So when we get into justice, it's kind of like this awareness that there are many layers of this justice. There are many layers of justified, if you will, and exploring those layers within yourself and figuring out what do you believe is just and justified in your life, and in other people's lives, and are we judging other people in a way that is injustice, right? So yeah, this word can get really, you can really meditate on this word and do some automatic reading with this word and really figure out what the layers are for you, but an awareness that it's a thing, right? Just an awareness. Let's keep going. I feel like I'm being a little overly philosophical today. Eight of Swords. So I saw this twice in the pre-shuffle of the reading. But I didn't see it in the reverse. I like that it's coming in the reverse. The awareness that we are our own worst enemy, right? The awareness that we're the ones binding ourselves up. Our thoughts and our words and the way that we're thinking about things are what's creating the situation for us, right? So we can manifest good and we can manifest bad, or we can manifest, it's not good or bad, actually. It just is. It's what you think about, you bring about, right? Where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're constantly putting yourself in a victim mentality, then you're going to, with confirmation bias, continue to perceive and see yourself as a victim. So it's all in your head, but the awareness that it is all in your head, and knowing that, and then being able to kind of laugh at it and go, wow, this is something that I was really focused on and was really stealing my joy. And as it turns out, the whole time it was just my perception of the thing. And then you realize how much you've stolen from yourself. It's kind of interesting when you figure that out. to the Five of Swords. It did fall in the reverse. We're going to take it in the reverse. So the deception and the I need to judge you to then not judge myself. And again, an awareness that what we're judging in other people, what the conflict and chaos that exists within other people starts with us, right? Starts with us, potentially, in our perceptions, again. So having those thoughts and words and pointing them outwards at other people, but really what we see in other people is what exists within ourselves, and the understanding and the awareness that it's showing you who you are. It's showing you where your healing needs to happen. And I like that. And the last card out, Death, Transformation. I had a client get this card yesterday, and they were very upset by it. They didn't understand, right? So they're pretty new to tarot. And they didn't understand the death is a card of transformation, which is kind of funny that this card fell, because this is the perception card, right? This is the I'm going to deceive myself card, or the fear, right? But death is transformation, right? It's killing the ego. And I talked a few weeks ago about the ego being a version of yourself, right? A past version of yourself. And that's what I was explaining to this client, right? The person that you were a year ago, that person who didn't have this knowledge, has to kind of go away for this new person to be born. And you can't kind of keep the old person alive and the new person alive at the same time. Like, one has to die, if you will. One has to transform. One has to be changed for the new person to exist. And that's what that is. So understanding that, and that's happening, right? I don't even think this is an awareness. This is just happening. This is just a fact of life, where you're becoming a new person, right? You're becoming a new person. Your old version of yourself is dying and is transforming into this new version of you. And what is our advice for today? Let's see, advice for today. Advice. We've got the Queen of Cups on her side. So do you want to be codependent? Do you want to take care of people, or do you want to take care of yourself? Fill your own cup first. Do you want to... So we talked about this in my group yesterday. We talked about values, and one of the values that they said was to care for others. And everybody wanted to write that down, because it's and we all do. We all want to care for others. But do we want to take care of others, or do we want to teach them to take care of themselves? And I think that's the question that the advice is asking you to ask yourself, right? If we take care of others, then they are constantly dependent on us to take care of them. But if we teach them to take care of themselves, then they can then teach other people to take care. If we all took care of ourselves, we wouldn't have any issues, right? So asking yourself, and it doesn't matter which way you answer, as long as you answer honestly, authentically, and live that truth, right? That's the part that matters. What you don't see coming at the bottom of the deck. I love it. 10 of Pentacles, the legacy. What you're building now, you're creating a legacy, right? I tell my clients all the time, what you're doing today is creating next year's past, right? So what do you want to leave for your children? What do you want to leave in the way of legacy for your kids? And this doesn't have to be money, right? This inheritance, it can be time, attention, belief systems, all the things, right? And what are you carrying back from your ancestors? What were you taught that you're now teaching your kids? And are you going to be the cycle breaker, right? Are you going to be the cycle breaker? I love that. I love that for us, that we're even thinking that far ahead, right, to the things. And it was actually part of my healing journey. I had an aunt, I have an Aunt Norma, who is the inspiration for my name, actually. And she'd asked me a long time ago, right before my healing journey, what is your legacy? What do you want to leave to your granddaughter? Because at the time I only had a granddaughter. And I really sat with that question. I really thought about it. And every decision I make now is with that question in mind, right? If I do this today, what legacy does that leave for my granddaughter? What karma does that leave for my granddaughter? What belief system does that leave for my granddaughter? Do I want her to do this thing? Do I want her to believe this thing? And I ask myself that all the time. All right, let's get a This Might Help card. This might help. What might help? We've got a couple cards. We've got the chewed pencils. So this would be like the 9 of wands, I believe. And then the map. So like the 2 of wands. Again, wands energy. So a little bit of, are you overthinking it? Are you overthinking it? And then are you going to do it the way it's always been done, right? With the legacy? Or are you going to find a new way to do it and create your own legacy? I love it. I love it. Can't make this shit up, you guys. I'm going to leave it there. You guys take care, and we'll chat tomorrow.